And we're rolling. Hello, everyone. This is Goofy99, fresh in the morning instead of later at night after work. Because I work for a living, guys. All right. And I now have Carrigator out. Believe it or not, longest engine so far, but quite frankly, I love him. You know, he's really good. Honestly, I pretty much love like the entire Mecha or Zord lineup and go under an RPM a bunch. See the big old 6 right here on the side. Just this really, really long and big orange gator figure. And that's really neat. And they actually included a big old mouth, which if you look inside, which I noticed just now, you can actually see like detailing hints of a tongue in there, which is awesome. And if you just want to get a better look at his face, you can just do that and move his platform out of the way and really get a good look at him. There's even like a mini cockpit back here in the back for some reason. No, he has a little window up front, but hey, what you gonna do? Honestly, in this mode, just a big rolling gator. Although mine has like rust in every wheel joint, which I think I was talking about for both Engine-Oh and mentioned quite a bit in Gunbir-Oh's video. Regardless, like all of the other engines so far, and there will be since, he does have an orange alligator themed 6 engine sole. Really love the design on this one. It actually looks like both an alligator head and a 6. Whereas Gunbir is just like straight up a wolf head almost. And like every gator, his engine sole goes in his mouth. It just gets me every time. And his sounds come from 2 little knobs right here. That's what he usually says. I do not know what that one means. What he usually says. I feel like I'm missing a few. Like, did I get through all the signs already on that side? One more time. Maybe. Let's do the other side. Ah, that's the one. Don't know what that one means, but the one before that says usually means something like, oh, I'm sorry for biting on you. So that's his name. I guess they switched up the sides on this one. But anyway, like Burka and Gunbir, you still get this. Sorry for biting you. I think that's a special one, he says. I also do not know what that one means either, so... Oh. Yeah, there's that. And you can actually pull his head forward, and he has the ability to, like, look to both sides. Or as you're rolling him around, you can kind of determine which way you want him to go. Kind of neat. I believe that's everything related to the engine sole, so we'll take that out. And because he is a Carrigator, hence the name, you can actually put Burka and Gunbir on him. They don't latch on. There's like little grooves on, I don't know if you should say grooves, but there's like little openings, gaps in the underside where it says, oh, you can put them there. I think you can put other guys on his back too, but I haven't tested too many of them. Maybe Toripter and Jeteros, the two after this, can also fit on there, but I don't know what else to say. Plus, yeah, you can still roll them around and, like, you know, have Burka and Gunbird sitting on the back as you're doing it. It's pretty neat. And these two actually have a combination with him specifically. And yes, Gunbird's nose is towards Burka's butt. Geez, Japan. Come on, guys. The heck are you doing? Anyway. They even look good, like, you know, right next to each other like this. But we're not done. Like I said, these two and him do combine into one robot. For the transformation sequence, Burka and Gunbird do the same things they always have. Oh, Burka's supposed to be on this side. Gunbird still do the gun thing. Give him a little gun. And that Carrigator is where all the cool stuff happens. Before you do anything, though, you have to go to his undercarriage. And there is a little crown piece about there you need to pop out. And we'll get to that by the end. Split Carrigator in half. Flip it around and reattach it. Actually, split his tail end up and is like giant slipper shoes that you have to bend down. Take them around, pull this panel in the back down, and move the gator head down to form the new chest. I think there's like a little bit of a hint of a head up here too. You take these two things on the side and turn those around. Those things are loud as heck. Burka plugs into there, and Gunbird plugs into here, so that he has access to both the bird cutter and the Gunbird gun. And then, you know, little crown piece you pulled out, this sits on top of the head like that, and this is the Gunbir-Oh. I don't know about you, just the orange and black just work really well together. And I know there's just like random green fish hanging off the arm. But that's Burka for you. He just adds green to wherever he is. And he, at least to me, felt like a Gal Hunter or Predazord reference from Wild Force. You know, you get the gator, you get the wolf/dog, and you get the canine, not canine, thinking of him, and the shark / sea animal. Yeah, just to have all them attached like that. As far as posability, however, he's got like a few. He can actually like move his arms out a bit, and you can do things like that where you can go pew 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 with the gun. Still, he has the ability to, of course, twist at that hole there. But what he can also do is pull these arms all the way up like that. Kind of get this neat little thing going where he's like this. Which also sets up for the Gunbir-Oh's finishing move in a way. Where he gets his arms ready. And we'll just say like that. And he brings the gator jaws up. Now, you would think, just like the Predazord, it would go, roar with a giant laser beam. No, he punches with both Gunbird and Burka first, and then he chomps down with Carrigator like that onto his enemies. As much as I would have preferred the gigantic beam, at least, to be a finishing move, at least he does use the Gator Crunch, which is good. Oh, he's like a lot of extra arm posability that the Engine-Oh doesn't, which is cool. But you don't get anything new in the legs, really. You just get that. And there's no knee joint. I think there could have been one there. At least just to mess around with and like play around with a bit. And he's just kind of skinny. You don't really get that feeling too much. And there is a slightly skinnier combination that comes after this. But overall, Gunbir-Oh is this really great, really cool combination that gets a 2 thumbs up from me. Gunbir-Oh is really cool. Next to the Engine-Oh, which, yes, I brought him back because he is required for something a bit later. Like, Engine-Oh is just a teeny bit taller, although Gunbir-Oh has much better arms. He has less huge shoulders. At least, like, as a figure, he's a bit more posable. You can, like, get some really weird and fancy things out of him. Kind of like that. That's just silly that he can, like T-stance to me. Gunbir-Oh, T-stancing for dominance, and here's Engine-Oh, like, bro, you know that's your gun arm, right? That's just silly. But there also is, like, just like with Toradora Oni Taijin in my earlier videos, these two can combine into a slightly bigger robot. But there's not as much preparation for this as there was for Toradora Oni Taijin. And these guys will combine into the Engine-Oh G6, which is called the Zenith Megazord in America. And Gunbir-Oh is called the Valmax Megazord in America as well through RPM, but I never got an American version, so this is pretty much all I have. And I already started prepping Engine-Oh up for the G6 combo. You just, make the racing flag arms and you push Busson's feet in, and he's ready to go. Gunbir-Oh, you get a little bit more to deal with. Gunbird just stays the same. You can just go ahead and put Gunbird in right now if you want. May as well just do that now. And Barca just goes into here. I can do this without knocking Gunbird out. That connection isn't as strong. And you do need to take this off. This will be used in a second. Kind of transform him back to Carrigator. You do need to split him in half. Oh, whoops. You can kind of pop those panels off on accident on the legs if you're not careful. Just trying to get a good enough grip to take Carrigator off, but you do not reattach him back together. You need to, you do need to rebuild both halves. But as far as the panels, these go up, and you come in here and put those up. And on the Carrigator half, you put that up, and there's two side panels here that you do still need to flip up, but there's also this other one in the back you need to flip out and reattach there. Don't know why they did that, quite frankly. But you do have to do that for this combination to work. And you have to plug Busson into the feet. And then just like, that. That would be a little bit harder, to be honest. And, okay, and you take the helmet piece here, and you make sure this opens up, which will, you turn it around, you see this new face, and this goes onto Engine-Oh's head, and just making sure it's secure, and that's it. This is the Engine-Oh G6 combination. Alright. Few minor issues I have with this. Like, not really a few, just like one that really sticks out to me that is technically minor, but just gets to me a lot personally, is this. Like, Carrigator had to be long and big, he had to be able to carry these two and make his own robot, and he had to find a way to attach here. But what they did is bringing him a bit closer. Look how big these feet are. Okay, just readjust that. How is this good? These gigantic feet. That bugs me a lot. And like having both Burka and Gunpert on at the same time, this is something you could do without having Carrigator on the feet. And it's kind of like, oh, well, you kind of have to add this to the combination somehow. But they decided on Sideshow Bob alligator feet. I mean, no, what is funny is that you can still use the mouth. Like, have a pretend he's like kicking someone and then the foot goes nom. and that would probably hurt a lot. You don't do anything to the shield back here. Just you'll deal with that later, but add some. Ugh. These feet actually add a little bit more weight than you would expect, too. I mean, that's not an issue, really, but holy crap. You have an entire mech just as feet. The Gunbir and Burka arms, you know how much I love those. Those are fine. And I do love the racing flags. And honestly, even though there is a much better helmet, the G6 helmet is alright. But what the hell is this? No, no, this was not a good design choice in my opinion. Like you couldn't have had him be like leg armor or make them just a little bit less wide. Like the whole thing itself looks fine, and it looks like the feet do not look anywhere near as big in the show as they do here. So I could like deal with it while watching the show, but no, these feet are just bothersome to me. You know, what the heck is this? Yeah, Carrigator himself, bringing this back into the shot again for some whatever reason, is great. I love Carrigator. And the Gunbir-Oh is this really neat combination. Like the orange and black, and even though the random greens there is cool when you're bringing Engine-Oh for the G6. G6 is alright. I have no issues with G6 whatsoever, but this? Excuse me. The Sideshow Bob feet? This. No. Just no. Not a fan. This is why I don't hate this thing. It's cool. Like Carrigator and Gunbir-Oh are like really neat additions to the line, but they're like super combination they had access to. You could have just had Burka and I feel like you could have just had Burka and Gunbir attached on, and that just would have worked out fine. All Carrigator really adds is big feet and like a sweet helmet, and that's it. Ooh. And the Zenith Megazord, there was already the Zenith Carrier Zord in Lost Galaxy. This thing, Zenith is supposed to mean the apex of someone's power. This, if anything, this is like halfway to the G12, I suppose, but no, G6, not the best combination. And the only reason I'm not talking about articulation really is because, you just get the same old Burka Gunbird posability you always did with the other two combinations, and yeah, for the finishing move of the G6, they would like raise both the arms up, Carrigator would open his mouth, and all the mechs would shoot laser beam avatars of themselves from each of the faces at the enemy. The G6 Grand Prix, fire! And, day saved and all that. I recommend Carrigator just kind of, by himself, especially if you got these two or, someone else to attach as arms, because otherwise you're just getting armless. You just get a gator that transforms into a robot with no arms, which is kind of meh. But if you can get these two or at least something to attach into those ports that'll fit in there, I think you got a pretty neat bot. Like the two that come after this actually still look okay when they're attached to him, really, even though I think these two are probably the better matchups. And that will be my quick look into Carrigator, Gunbir-Oh, and Engine-Oh G6. Yeah, I don't like to spend too much time highlighting things. I want to highlight things that I think are cool about each of the figures separately, but I also got to highlight what everything does when you have everything leading up to that point, which in this case, it's just the Engine-Oh set. These two were sold in individual packs, and this guy was the last pack. I don't know why they didn't package these three in their own set. Maybe they did that later. You know, just in case kids couldn't, you know, get these two separately and then him, sort of like, oh, let's just make a bulk pack where these two are on there, and then if you have your Engine-Oh, you can do this. And, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Like, G6 is not a terrible robot, but the only thing that gets me is these feet. Let's not talk about that anymore. Anyway, Sword Down on Goofy 99, signing off. Peace out.